This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And welcome, good afternoon, welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Peroletti, along with Nick Peroletti, and our program being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. 2 words, Taco Tuesday. I say no more. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. Your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers, 18s on lot. They need to go. Specially priced right now. Special financing rates. Check out everything on the lot today at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Ray and Cindy's Place, 2 convenient drive-thrus serving up 3 squares. And remember, we're getting into that season where you might need somebody to come on by and do some catering like graduation, anniversaries, birthdays. Get a hold of Chick-fil-A. Go to CheyenneChicken.com. You've been there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know the food is always excellent at Chick-fil-A. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. And again, the whole family of Kias on the lot for 2019. Take a test drive, sit down, talk with the friendly folks over at Kia of Cheyenne. AJ's got a great staff there, and I guarantee you're going to be happy with the Kia of your dreams in your driveway later on this evening. Platte Valley Bank ×2, banking done the old-fashioned way, customer service. And again, the customer service is always a theme, but remember, too, they are high-tech banking as well, and everything in between. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations, corner of College and Persia on the east side, the original location on Vanda High. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body ×2, the Auto and Truck Repair Center on Dunn Avenue. The Auto Glass and Detail Center can be found on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. You saw my good friends Tim and Tad today over at First Tier Bank. Again, check out their special CD rates going on right now on a 27-month CD with a special APY, annual percentage yield right now at 3.1%. Mondello's Pizzeria right across the way. Paisan cuisine at its best 7 days a week. Fresh ingredients always put into the pies. Matter of fact, fresh dough, fresh baked breads for their sandwiches. It's all delicious all the time at Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. No matter what happens inside your house, whether it's the heater, the air conditioner, or your water heater, remember Mars is on the job 24/7, 1515 Logan Avenue. And we get things underway with our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
Hockey action for tonight. We'll start with the American Hockey League and the Colorado Eagles, who are on the road against Bakersfield, the Condors, as that series is tied up 1 apiece. At least that game will get underway tonight in Bakersfield, and you can see that game at least at 8 o'clock on the AHL TV, at least streaming service. NHL action for tonight, 2 Game 7s. We'll start with the Boston Bruins at home at TD Garden. They'll play host to the Toronto Maple Leafs. You can see that game on NBC Sports Network, and after that game wraps up, also 2 on NBC Sports Network. In the Shark Tank in San Jose, California, San Jose Sharks, they'll play host to my Vegas Golden Knights. Go Knights, go. That's what's happening. NHL action for tonight.
Major League Baseball, 1 game in the books. First of a day-night twin bill at Fenway Park. Tigers have defeated the Red Sox 7-4. They'll get underway again in the 5 o'clock hour. Games that are on tap for the 4 o'clock hour feature the Marlins at the Indians at Progressive Field, Bravos and the Reds at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. In the 5 o'clock hour, D-backs and the Pirates at PNC, White Sox and the Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The Giants and the Blue Jays will match up in the Rogers Center. Again, the Bo Sox and the Tigers, game 2 of their day-night twin bill at Fenway. Also in the 5 o'clock hour, Royals at the Rays at the Trop. Phillies at the Mets. 5:45, we'll have the Brewers at the Cardinals. 6 o'clock hour, Dodgers at the Cubs at Wrigley. Astros will entertain the Twins at Minute Maid. Nats and the Rockies once again at Coors Field. Patrick Corbin getting the call for Washington. Jeff Hoffman boy, it's been a while since Jeff Hoffman towed the rubber for the Rocks. He will get the pill for Colorado. In the 8 o'clock hour, late night action, Yankees and the Halos again at Angel Stadium. They had some free baseball last night, 14 innings worth. Rangers and the Athletics in the Oakland Coliseum. Padres will host the Mariners at Petco. On to the NBA. Let's check out what's going on for this evening. Maybe some wrap-ups. With the Raptors leading 3-1, they will host the Magic. Leading 3-1 at the Wells Fargo Center, it will be the 76ers hosting the Brooklyn Nets. The Nuggets looking to go up 3-2. They'll be in the can at the Pepsi Center. They entertain the San Antonio Spurs, Trailblazers, and the Thunder tonight. They will be in the Moda Center, Portland, with a 3-1 lead in that best-of-7 series. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
We're entering our 14th year and still going strong. I'm AJ Miller here at Kia of Cheyenne, and we always strive to make it easy for you to own a quality Kia vehicle for less. Right now, we can help get you into a new 2019 Kia Stinger and really make your day. Kia Stinger comes with an 8-speed automatic transmission, paddle shifters, push-button start, 18-inch wheels, leather seat trim, and heated seats, all standard. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. Join in for a festive evening of fun, food, and live auction in Cheyenne on Monday, May 6th at the historic Little Bear Inn, which is sponsoring the Love Never Forgets Gala to benefit the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. The event is being held to support the services provided on behalf of the nearly 30,000 Wyomingites affected by this relentless form of dementia. For more information, call the Alzheimer's chapter at 316-2892. That's 316-2892. Or visit First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue for your tickets. Remember, at First Tier Bank, you'll find the best rate on a 27-month CD with a 3.10% annual percentage yield.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be sunny with highs around 61. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 39. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 66. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with the chance of rain showers with lows around 39.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
It is a Tuesday afternoon, Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We get to talk extreme fast pitch as we have 18 and under head coach Adam Galicia join us. And we were just chatting before we got on the air. Again, Mother Nature has been kind of the foe, even in my case, too, with my over 50 team. We're trying to get games caught up.
Softball, Post 6 had to move their game up. Again,
and weather, unfortunately, affects softball as well, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, and that's tough around here. It's, the last couple of years has actually been pretty good. We haven't been weathered out too much until we get into late April, but yeah, this year we've already had 2 or 3 tournaments we've been weathered out of. So it's been
now,
tough.
Again, when people will think of of softball, and if you've watched, again, collegiate fast pitch on ESPN, again, skin infield, dirt infield, and you got grass or turf in the outfield. And again, once the dirt gets any type of moisture, especially here, I mean, and I've seen just a quick thunderstorm, and you got ducks already, skating on the pond, so to speak.
Yeah, a lot of those fields down in Colorado are the clay infields, and so you get any moisture on them, that top inch is like walking around on grease. It's pretty bad. Yeah.
So with you being postponed due to the weather, what have you done to kind of keep
things
them
fresh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of practice. We were able to get in a couple exhibition games this last Saturday against Casper, who's going to be one of our top competitors from our rivals from Wyoming, and it was nice to get them to come up, get a couple games in, and see where they're standing at this year. And it's going to be Casper and Gillette for us, as far as Wyoming, to see where we end up at the end of the year.
Give a little explanation where, at least playing at home against the Wild Pride, or at least the team out of Casper, in those two games this past Saturday were exhibition games. Why were they exhibition and didn't reflect towards the official record for the Cheyenne Extreme?
Well, and honestly, we actually do count those to our official record. It's since we play primarily USSSA, we have we mark our USSSA games as league-type games, and everything else is non-league. When we get to the end of the season, our state tournament is actually a USA softball, USA sanction, and that's typically the only USA tournament we play, other than, when we go to North Platte, Nebraska, it's a lot of USA softball. But, I mean, we still do count those games toward our record. Normally we get umpires, and it's all uniformed up, and teams go out to win.
In those two games this past Saturday, again, where you look at the first contest, 7-0 victory for the Cheyenne Extreme, and then game number 2, 15-1. As you're talking about your rivals, in-state rivals, kind of getting that litmus test of seeing where you are compared to the rest of Wyoming. But I mean, it's not a bad test right there out of the gates to show off of what Cheyenne Extreme is going to be like, at least here in the state of Wyoming, on the softball ranks.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And like I said, Casper's, they got some good girls on their squad. They were actually missing their number one pitcher this last weekend. And you can tell they're going to be there in a few weeks. We're actually going to see them this weekend up in Loveland. They're probably not as in game shape as we are right now, but they're going to be there at the end of the year.
It's interesting you mentioned USSSA and USA softball. And I know in my case I play in two different versions, but it's still baseball. I play NABA in my over 50, and then when I go down to Arizona, I play Men's Senior Baseball League World Series. Is there a difference with USSSA and USA softball? Is rules what distinguishes the two?
So USA softball obviously is the sponsor of the USA Women's Fast Pitch, but there are differences in rules, and it's more into the area of substitutions. Like USSSA, we can actually have 12 girls in the lineup. You can have a flex, DP flex. One player plays defense, one player hits. You can also have 2 extra hitters. Normally on Saturdays when it's pool play, you try to get as many people in the game as possible. Where USA softball, it's different. It's basically by the book every day, and so it's literally 9 players that you can play at a time. So if you have a roster with 16, 17 girls, it's tough to get everybody playing time.
Is there a preference that you kind of prefer more one over the other, or which one is better for these young athletes, a part of your team, to get on to that next level, whether it is going to the collegiate level or maybe possibly semi-pro or something like that? I mean, what would be the better of the two for your young ladies to kind of get prepared?
For us, in our experience, and my experience with coaching, I prefer the USSSA. Once we've gone to a couple national tournaments for USA, and the rules are, they're so strict, as in everybody has to have the same hair tie on, everybody has to have the same whatever, everything has to be exactly the same, and if it isn't, they got to take it off. So USSSA is a little more flexible. They do allow the girls the last 2 years to wear jewelry. Which is a big thing. In baseball, you see the older kids, they get to wear their little bracelets and that type of stuff. So that was a big thing for the girls. So it gives them a little bit more individuality, I guess.
Does USSSA, and I remember playing that, here in town and down in Fort Collins, does that offer more as far as tournaments as opposed to USA softball? I mean, USSSA seems to brand themselves as we're bigger, we're better.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on what region of the country you live in. I mean, all of the Wyoming tournaments are USA-sponsored tournaments. Everything we do in Colorado, well, not all of them in Colorado, but the majority of them in Colorado are USSSA. And for us, being as close as we are to Colorado, we have a tendency to just play USSSA. And it's tough because softball is – there's not as many competitive teams in Wyoming, so it's hard for us to travel up to over to Rock Springs or to Gillette or to Sheridan or and things like that when we know we're probably going to face one competitive team, maybe two. And between here and Denver, there's 60 teams that we could play that are going to give us competition.
Looking at this past weekend where you had an exhibition game, and again, you and I, we played the game too, and you hear the word exhibition or practice game. Get enough for it? Yeah, I guess you can. But what's the message to the young ladies? And again, you got a great group of young ladies. What's the message to them? Hey, I know it's exhibition, but. Oh,
yeah, definitely. Because, the thing I like about it is competitors are competitors. So when it's game time, they're going to play. And if you can't do that, we're probably going to struggle if we're not going to do that. So, I mean, you can't simulate game-type stuff in practice, and when you're going against these teams, they want to get hits. They want to steal second. They want to do whatever they're going to do game-time situations. So, yeah, it's a benefit to us to do that.
And somebody in a different uniform than the extreme.
It's also not a bad thing to say, hey, you're going to go beat up a team out of Casper. That's always a good thing to say. But either way, though, at least looking from past this weekend up, at least this upcoming weekend down on Saturday, 3 games on your schedule, at least so far as an open tourney down there in Loveland, Colorado. The Blaze Invitational Open, where at least first game early in the morning, 11 a.m., Rocky Mountain Thunder. Then you also see the Colorado Pony Express, and then wrapping up with the USSSA Pride Elite. So 3 games there, all on Saturday down there in Loveland. Just give us your thoughts. Just talk about what teams you're going to be seeing in this tournament coming up this weekend.
Well, this is an exciting weekend for me. As a coach, we're stepping up in level. It's an open tournament. There's going to be a lot of A teams down there. A lot of the higher class B teams will be playing in this tournament, but there's a lot of A teams, and if coming out of pool play, we'll break into 2 separate brackets, championship brackets, and our goal is always to be in the high-level championship bracket and see what we can do. I'm pretty excited for the girls to be challenged this weekend, and to step up their game, and hopefully they will.
And again, we asked this last week as well. Have you had the opportunity at least, and again, with all of the technology today, have you had a chance to see any of these teams in game situations thus far?
So really there's nothing you can see on the internet, but we've one of the tournaments, it was an A and a B tournament, and so when your game's over,
keeping an eye out.
You're keeping an eye, and you track them, and I go through and do the research and see who have they played, have they played anybody we played, how do they match up, that type of thing. It's still kind of early in the season because of a lot of the weather outs. So there's not most everybody's played anywhere from 10 to 12 games. Now we're getting into the meat of the season. We're getting ready to get started. So a couple of teams we played this weekend, there's not a lot of history on them yet. So, but when they got A-ball type players, they're going to be very competitive.
When you're talking about at least now getting towards the meat of the season for the Cheyenne Extreme, something, we haven't talked to you in a few weeks, but just give us the update or at least kind of situation with the Cheyenne Extreme. Health-wise, are we fully healthy right now, working off of injuries? I mean, what's kind of the status for the team?
So we still have a couple of injuries. We're waiting for have a pitcher out of Torrington. We're waiting for her to work her way back in, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Have another Torrington girl, Brittany Lopez, that she's got a stick that it's crazy, but she's coming off a ACL injury, and so hopefully we're probably not going to see her till around the 1st of June. But health-wise for the rest of the team, other than the bumps and bruises and little stretches here and there, we're sitting pretty good. We're actually in a really good place right now.
Final thought for me, and again, thanks for dropping on by and chatting with us. And again, we're going to be talking with one of the key players of the Extreme. When you have practice, and again, you get to you're already into the meat of the season, but it's like, gosh, we got practice. Is fundamental still number one on your list? Is there a different fundamental that you try to teach at every practice, or you just lump them all in? Hey, we need to do this. We got to hit the cutoff. Blah blah blah.
So there's a lot of when I give practice information out, I'd say skills and drills. This night we're going to focus on hitting. This night
so you
we're
give them
going
a
to do
syllabus,
this.
huh?
Yeah, and but you have to incorporate. We're constantly searching for new drills. I mean, stuff to keep it interesting. It's a lot of the same drills but different, if that makes sense. So the girls stay interested, and they sometimes they still get bored. But I tell them, this is the stuff that all of a sudden you get in the game situation, and that's just who you are. That's the things you do, and it's exciting then.
And I still receive emails from USA Softball, and obviously you do too. But is there things in there that you try to disseminate from the information that they send you? Is there? Do they present something new to you that you don't know?
It's not always, but I'm always looking at all the information I get. There's a lot of different coaching websites I belong to, and so there's tons of information out there, and I've always told when I counsel people, whatever, if you think you know everything, you might as well give up the coaching business, because we're constantly learning. My son and I are, we're always researching different things, and it may be the simplest drill, but it could be the biggest difference in a game.
Adam, we thank you so much. Adam Galicia, 18 and under Extreme head coach, joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say, thank him also, too, as well, for bringing in at least a new addition to the Jersey Wall here in 1480 KRAE studio, as it's pretty much full up by every other team here in Cheyenne, or at least around the region. I mean, we even got a Nevada one. But again, thank you, Adam, for bringing in at least some representation for the Cheyenne Extreme as well, too, for folks to come and take a look at it as well.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. And when we come back, we will have another special guest join us live in the studio right here on 1480 KRAE.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today as we got done talking with head coach Adam Galicia. Now we bring in one of the players from the Cheyenne Extreme as we introduce you to yet another player. This one will be Jordan Harris, who is a senior out at Cheyenne Central High School. So we thank you so much for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Understand you're a center fielder and a pitcher. Let's talk about being in the outfield. You got to cover a lot of real estate, especially in center field.
Right. When I was younger, there wasn't a lot of action in the outfield, but once girls started getting stronger, then it got a lot more fun.
It's kind of that typical just stand around, look at whatever's going on, and then eventually, hey, now you're going to be making those key plays, as Coach Galicia kind of mentioned. At least over this past weekend, you had a phenomenal play, apparently. Just talk about that, of what happened over this weekend.
Right. So I had a shot hit in center field, right down the middle. It's kind of hard to track. Didn't know the fence was right there. Kept running and caught it right before the fence. So,
as long as you didn't decapitate yourself,
right.
That's a good thing. Right. As you are a center fielder for the Cheyenne Extreme, you also pitch as well, and we'll get into that. Tell us a little bit about your, I guess the would be is, why do you want to play the outfield? That would be my first question. And do you get inspiration from family? Who's your driving force to be that great center fielder that you are?
Right. So I started playing when I was 7, so about 11 years. And I started playing because my stepmom, Lindy Harris, she was always just a coach for Extreme. She played for Extreme. And so I just decided to play. And my dad's always done fly balls with me and stuff, so it's just more exciting to me than getting grounders.
And Coach mentioned, like I said, to keep fresh in practices, you're always doing some type of drills. Is fly balls basically more what you do, or is it hitting cutoff, or you try to throw the rock all the way to home plate? I mean, tell us a little bit what you do to keep yourself fresh in the outfield.
We do a lot of footwork, so that we know how to track the ball down at the right angle so we can get to the ball. And we do a lot of fly ball drills, just hitting them, so we get a lot of that, those reps in. And so more footwork than tracking them down.
How much help are the coaches for you when you're in center field? And again, you would want to play just straight behind second base, to play straight away center field. But obviously, when you're playing against a team and somebody can go either way, extreme, down to the left side or, right center field, do you have signals? Do the coach, or does the coach just, tell you
without
to
giving
move
too
in?
much?
Yeah, without giving it away, do you have little signals, or can you even see the catcher from center field, knowing that your pitcher's going to throw a changeup, so you need to go whatever direction?
So usually I look at the coaches, they'll call us out and tell us which side of the base to move on, if they know background from the team. But most of the time I'll try to remember if we've gone through the lineup already of where they hit last time, if it was in the outfield, if it was just a grounder. So they usually talk to us and help us out a little bit.
To get a little background on you, Jordan, at least get away from at least softball and all the skills and drills and all that fun stuff, but to get folks at least familiar with you again, as we mentioned, Cheyenne Central Products, senior there as well, too. Besides Cheyenne Extreme, any sports involvement there at Cheyenne Central as well?
I played volleyball on varsity all 4 years, and I played basketball 2 years. So I started varsity as a freshman, my freshman year, and have played ever since. So.
And, we look at volleyball, basketball, and also, too, with the Cheyenne Extreme. Are you venturing towards one of those possibly in the next level collegiate-wise of volleyball, softball? Have you kind of picked and choose one of that's my direction I want to focus on in the next level?
I've thought about it. I was going to try to go to Arizona and play softball, and then I was thinking about just JUCO for volleyball, and then I decided just to work on school. So club sports mostly, intramurals.
We got a top 25 JUCO volleyball team here in town, over there at LCCC. Well, just say.
Absolutely, and we know the coach, too. Yeah. Other position that you play, too, and I want to get into that here in just a bit. Do you watch, and Coach Galicia and I were talking before you walked in, where ESPN shows a lot of collegiate fast pitch now. Do you find yourself watching, even if it's Alabama versus LSU, do you sit down and watch an hour's worth of that type of collegiate softball?
Well, usually my parents will just have it on the TV, and they'll be like, hey, come watch this, look at this play. But it's harder to watch what I've been playing because I, want to go out and play it.
Right.
But if I see if it's, a really good play, I'll be like, oh, yeah, maybe I can work on that, So.
Now, you're a pitcher. And again, too, not so much that you're going to pitch when needed, but because all arms are available. What do you do to strengthen your arm? Again, because it's a circular motion. So what do you do? Are you involved in some type of weightlifting? Tell us a little bit. What's in your life?
So every week we usually get a pitching practice in with our pitching coach. And our off days we usually do strengthening, or we just pitch during practice. So we work with strengthening without the catchers and just do more reps to get our arm strengthened. But I have worked on just doing arms at school or at the gym. So
now, do you leg work too? Because I know being a pitcher and where you have to kind of pause and kind of rest on the one leg, and you're as you're throwing the ball, you're almost in constant motion. Do you do a lot of lower body work as well?
Most of my work is actually lower body. It just helps my arm, less stress on my arm, I guess, than if my legs are stronger, so I can push towards the catcher. But
do you do a lot of running?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I figure it's being an outfielder, and again,
as I say, you got to cover a lot of ground out there,
right.
and running around the bases now for you, Jordan. At least looking on this season, as we talk with another extreme player at least a few weeks ago, I'll ask you the same question. Goals for this season for yourself, as you're talking about, at least looking to go to that next level, whether it is at Arizona to play softball, JUCO to play volleyball, or whatever it may be. But I mean, right now for the Cheyenne Extreme, what goals did you have heading into this season for yourself?
My goals are mainly for the outfield. Basically not to let a ball drop out there. I mean, it's my job to catch those. And to be a leader out there as center fielder, because it's kind of like your area and you got to help the other people out because they have other options to work with. Also, hitting has never been a strong part for me, but it's been getting a lot better. So basically to do my job and to help the team succeed.
We're talking with Jordan Harris from Cheyenne Central, also part of the Cheyenne Extreme. How many years have you been with the Extreme?
I've been with Extreme 11 years, since I was 7.
So you've come up through the ranks.
Yep.
And again, as you've seen a lot of teammates come and now and go as well. Tell us a little bit about those younger Extreme kids, or those that want to be Extreme kids. Tell them a little bit about your experience all this time being with the Extreme.
So I started out as younger, so I've always been the younger one on the team, and then the older girls would move up, and I'd always move up with them because we would just make a new team. And so I had a lot of leadership shown to me, and this year now I'm the leader because I'm the oldest one on the team. So I think it's more about family as a team than succeeding, because our team has never been the best, because we're in Cheyenne, Wyoming, but it's a lot more about working together as a team than the outcome of the games that we play.
Is there a little added pressure on yourself, Jordan, as you kind of deciphering that at least comment there, but have you put a little bit more added pressure to succeed this season and try to do the best you can and try to get this team to bigger and better things? It sounds like you've kind of added that pressure to yourself. Am I right?
Right. So it's better to succeed, but as the family comes, if you work together more as a team, then your success is more. The outcome is success when you do it there.
Final thought from me, Jordan. Again, thank you for coming in here and listening to your comments today, too, because, again, sounds like you really enjoy what you do. And again, you enjoy it, but it's also stressful, too, because you just never know what's going to happen in a game situation. We've been talking about it. We've talked with Coach, and we've talked with the athletic directors. You won't see it because you're going to be graduating. Your thoughts on the possibility of women's fast pitch being part of the high school protocol now?
I think I would have loved playing softball in high school. It's a little harder because there's not as many girls playing because we're split into all the schools. We have kids from East and Central playing on Extreme, so it'll be a little harder there. But I know there's the rec league girls that play, and I think it'd just be more of an experience to have high school as well as club. I think it'd be a lot more better for the organization, I think.
Well, it's definitely going to be a reality as we now understand that it will be across the state of Wyoming. Here in Cheyenne, though, they're still waiting on that, so hopefully East, South, and Central will get on board with that. But again, it will be a reality, but when that will be, to be determined by the Athletics Association.
And let's say women's fast pitch coming to a high school near you soon.
Yeah.
Jordan, thank you so much for joining us here today on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We got more coming up here for Tuesday afternoon on 1480 KRAE.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. How about these super radio buys heard only right here? Kahlua Coffee Liqueur, 1.75-liter bottle, $25.99. Bud Light Lime or Orange, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, $14.99. And Smirnoff Vodka, 1.75-liter bottle, $18.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
Fish and shrimp are back. They're back. They're back at Taco John's. Come get them by the sack. Because they won't last long. Hooray! Hooray! Crispy fish tacos, popcorn shrimp street tacos too. Hurry to Taco John's because they're back. It's true. Hooray! For fish and shrimp. Hurry today. Hooray! For Taco John's. Come eat them every day.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 61. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 39. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 66. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain showers with lows around 39.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Thank you again to Adam Galicia, along with Jordan Harris. Join us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today as we keep you updated on the extreme softball program, 18 and under program. Again, doing that competitive thing, and the schedule's going to get a little tougher now as they get into the meat and potatoes.
It's almost like we're alluding to something with the Shine Extreme at 1480 KRAE.
Yeah,
but I don't want
let's
to
move on with our program here. We want to mention we got Pat Graham, our good friend, Denver AP Sports right here. He'll join us in the 4 o'clock hour. You know, usually we get all 4 sports with Pat, but you know,
not necessarily
today.
Not necessary today.
Today we're gonna keep it very, very simple, but.
We'll hit the playoff teams down there in Denver. We won't talk draft. We'll have someone for that. And again, also too working on someone to talk Rockies as well. So we're not going to bombard him with all 4 Denver sports. We're going to keep it simple for him since he's got to deal with.
And he's at the can tonight, right?
Yeah, he's got to focus. He's got to focus on the Nuggets for coming up tonight. But
all right, let's go to hockey real quick.
All right.
And again, we'll
2 games last night were results ended in what I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, you know what? In my Western bracket right now, I need San Jose to win. Nothing against Vegas, but I mean, right now, I had Nashville, I had Winnipeg. Both are gone.
Yeah.
Dallas and St. Louis. The only one I've gotten right thus far is Colorado. But
I called the Dallas one, and the ironic thing on my Western side is I had for the first round, because what NHL does, or at least the bracket challenge there through NHL.com does, is they ask you for a tiebreaker sense of what is the first round matchups, how long they're going to last, at least game-wise. On the Western side of the bracket, I have every single matchup correct, or at least game length. I just have the teams incorrect where I had Calgary and I had Winnipeg. So, but I did get Dallas right, and all I got to hope for is obviously, again, cheering on the Vegas Golden Knights,
so
clearly.
You and me are kind of like on the West here. We're kind of screwed. I mean,
not necessarily. Again, I still have Dallas. I had Winnipeg versus Vegas in the Western Conference Final, which obviously Winnipeg's not going to be there, but Vegas certainly can represent if they are able to win on the road tonight, which they can. They have proven that many a time that they can win in San Jose.
See, and I've got San Jose winning tonight. And again, I had this series going 7, and then I got San Jose moving on past Colorado. Unfortunately, I had them losing to Winnipeg. Well, I'm screwed right there.
Well, either way, though, the Stars, as I thought they were, again, they ended up winning 4 games to 2. They win at home 2-1. Again, does not surprise me. They won in overtime as well. Again, where you talk about Pecorine, hey, it wasn't a bad night for him.
49 saves.
He had a save. I mean, that is the big thing right now for Nashville is their defense is just pathetic. And again, just it's a little bit of both. Dallas is an offensive just powerhouse, a juggernaut. It is something where for the Stars, is it something that they're going to have enough at least where does this translate well in the second round against St. Louis? I think absolutely
if
could.
Ben Bishop minds the net like he did here in this series, oh my gosh, he was
and you complained about Pecorine seeing 49 shots. How about 47 for, again, Ben Bishop, who's been phenomenal in these playoffs. That is going to be a great series to see between Dallas and St. Louis. 2 teams that have, haven't been this far in quite some time in the playoffs and doing something special right now here in the Western Conference. That is going to be a very fun matchup. That might be an evenly matched up, at least contest between those two that might last 7 games. But there is that from at least one of the Western Conference games from this, at least from yesterday. You look over to the East in Carolina, the Hurricanes at home, they do it again. Go figure. They won 5-2 pretty handily against the Capitals. There's just something special about playing in Carolina for the Hurricanes. Again, that fan base is just unbelievable. And, hey, it was fun and nice. It was good for the Hurricanes that have been without playoff hockey for quite some time out there. But I think coming up, there will be a Game 7. I just don't see the Hurricanes winning in Washington, D.C., where, again, the Hurricanes have gotten it done at home, but I just don't see it in Game 7 where the Capitals, they've been in this position before. They have that experience. I talk a lot about experience. Well, Washington should get it done coming up in their Game 7. But I give kudos to Carolina. What they did last night, though, at home where, again, backs against the wall, they needed this to push it to 7. They got it done.
I'm actually disappointed in Washington. Again,
I'm not.
I'm not taking anything away from Carolina. Don't get me wrong. I actually thought Washington would sweep this series 4-0.
Nah.
And what bothers me about this, for a team that is the defending Stanley Cup champions, who are just as powerful as they were last season.
Yes and no. I mean, they're showing right now a few holes.
They're showing age more than anything.
Not so much. Ovechkin did get a goal last night, even though there was only 2 on the board. But again, with Wilson, Smith, Pelly, right now the team, at least Washington, it's a very peak and valley team where you don't know where you're going next on this roller coaster ride with Washington Capitals, but I think it will go far north, or at least, no pun intended, but with Washington Capitals going back to the Capital One Arena. I think this team just has that experience, that know-with-all, that knowledge of being in the playoffs compared to Carolina. They know a 7-game series, or at least what Game 7 means, and I think that's enough for them to win at home. Where this was basically a battle of rabid fan bases, I think Washington will get powered by being back at home and eventually move on to take on the New York Islanders.
And to me,
I think this was a great effort by Carolina. And again, kudos to them in Game 6. But Game 7, the true test, here it is, win or go home. Washington's been here before. Carolina hasn't. Washington will figure out a way to get
the way the playoffs have gone thus far. And again,
Washington would be the only 1 seed that would move on.
And this would be interesting, too. It would not faze me or surprise me
if
Carolina actually wins at D.C. I mean, I
it
know
it would a bit for me. I don't anticipate it. Granted, this going 7 games, I didn't anticipate this either. But seeing how these two have matched up so far in this first round, it is a legitimate possibility. But I just don't see it. Washington is very good at home. They've proven that throughout the season. They've kind of proven it throughout the playoffs, or at least here in this first round matchup. Carolina, like I said, Carolina, you had a nice run. You were competitive, but I think it ends in Game 7. Where I think something lights a fire under that Washington team. They realize, hey, it's do or die. We're at home. We don't have to go to an enemy ice. We're at home. This fan base is going to be loud as it can be to help us power through and get this win here coming up.
So we move on to tonight. Do or die nights right here for 4 teams. Maple Leafs and the Bruins will be up first at the TD Garden. Hard to handicap this one because
Boston's favorite, but not by much.
I know, but hard to handicap it because Toronto has got in there and stolen one.
Yeah.
So
it is a toss-up where you're talking about the Bruins had a 3-win or at least 3 more wins than the Maple Leafs. 2 evenly matched up teams. Go figure. It went to Game 7, kind of like what we're going to see in the Western Conference as we talk about that here in a few short minutes. But you would say that Boston should get it done at home, but nothing tells me that they will.
They're more of the overwhelming favorite than San Jose is. San Jose is a nervous favorite, according to Vegas tonight.
I think that's fair. But right now, how do you handicap Boston versus Toronto? You just really can't. That is the ultimate, it is the ultimate question right now of who will move on. Will it be the home squad of Boston, or will Toronto get it done? The key thing, I think, is Tuukka Rask for Boston. Will he have a poor night behind, at least in the net, or will he have a stunning night? We've seen that plenty for Tuukka Rask of where his time with Boston Bruins, it can be that roller coaster ride where you don't know what to expect. He can allow 5 goals, get pulled, or he could put out a shutout. Will he do that tonight? You just don't know. That is kind of a big factor right now.
Here's where I'm at. I feel, and again, I'm not dissing on Vegas. I think Vegas is a good team, and I'm sure Fleury is going to show us why he is a Stanley Cup champion.
Well, again, Fleury, you talk about experience. He's been this before.
I know, but
whether it was Vegas or whether it was for Pittsburgh.
But what I'm saying is, in the situation, I am more nervous for Boston in the Garden tonight against the Maple Leafs than I am San Jose in the tank against Vegas. I feel for some reason that Boston just will kind of just take this thing for granted that they're at home.
Possibly, but right now, San Jose, they're going to have all the emotion. Right now, they're riding off of 2 wins in a row where, let's talk about with Vegas, they went up 3-1 and let the 2 slip where, again, they had the chance to close it out there in Las Vegas with game number 6, now game 7, forcing it back to the Shark Tank. They had the momentum on the side of the Sharks, but you talk about 2 teams that have been here before. They know what to expect out of Game 7s. They know too well of each other play styles. Again, we're seeing a rematch of what happened last season. I don't want to give my opinion or say what it could happen, but you look at what has gone on with the Sharks and what they've done to kind of turn it around. Again, 5-2 in Game 5. That was at the Shark Tank. 2-1 overtime win there in Vegas. The momentum is there with San Jose. Obviously, I'm pulling for Vegas in this situation, but can the Golden Knights come back from losing 2 in a row on the road in San Jose in enemy territory? Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
they absolutely could.
But I mean, you would.
But they have a big hurdle to overcome of what San Jose has done in the past 2 games.
See, and that's why I'm saying Boston can just flake out. They could just basically cough this one up.
So could San Jose.
No, San Jose. But that's the one thing. There has been no, ebb and flow in the Maple Leafs Boston series as opposed to San Jose and Vegas. Vegas came out as the muscle team, and then all of a sudden now they've kind of backtracked a little bit, and you're going, Well, I don't know. Maybe, with it being in San Jose, I feel pretty comfortable with them coming back.
I think for
that
Vegas, I
win.
think for anything for Vegas, losing 2 in a row here to San Jose, having a chance to clinch the series already, and you had to push it to a Game 7 where now it's do or die for Vegas and San Jose, but I think more so for the Vegas Golden Knights, hopefully Marc-Andre Fleury, he's been here many a time. He knows what to do, what is expected of him. That defense needs to show up for Vegas if they want to have a shot against San Jose. And then that offense needs also to pick things up. That offense that was able to score 5 goals, was able to score 6 and 5 as well. Again, they've scored plenty of goals in those 3 wins. That offense needs to spark once again. That offense needs to come alive if they want to have a shot against the San Jose Sharks.
Who do you favor tonight? A low-scoring contest. If it's a low-scoring contest, do you favor the Sharks or Vegas?
If it's low, probably I'd go San Jose.
See, and I would go with Vegas. I think if it was a higher-scoring contest.
If it's a higher-scoring contest, Vegas can keep up if that offense shows up. I think.
See, that's you and I are different on this.
It's very tough because, again, for the 4 games, or at least for, again, majority of this at least series, we've seen where these teams have scored, plenty of goals. We've seen where San Jose got shut out. Again, you go back to Game 6, a 2-1 overtime victory in favor of the San Jose Sharks. You would assume that it's going to be go back to that high scoring where one team's going to put up a 5 spot, the other one puts up maybe 3 or 4 goals. That could be a reality, but is it trending where it's going to be a low-scoring affair? Is it something that Marc-Andre Fleury focuses and pulls off another shutout, or at least maybe a 1-goal allowed game? Possibly. This is both Game 7s right now. It is hard to judge. You obviously give the favorite to the teams at home. I would say more so you give the favorite to San Jose of what they've done in the past 2 games of having that momentum back, getting it back to San Jose, where Games 5 and 6, they had their backs against the wall. Well, now, hey, they got a shot. They have a shot to move on, where you look at a few days ago, they didn't. Where, that's where we're at. Boston and Toronto, they flip-flop so many times, it is that ultimate coin flip of, sure, Toronto, if you win, congrats. Boston, you win, congrats. I can see either or.
I think if somebody's up by 2 goals heading into the final period, they may be the winner in that contest.
Probably.
It's just been a strange series between Boston and Toronto. But again, I think tonight, really, the San Jose and Vegas contest, that's definitely must-see TV. Definitely want to see that one.
Well, again, it'll be on prime time, at least 8 o'clock tonight, NBC Sports Network, where, again, Vegas looking to move on in the playoffs as they did last year against the Sharks. Sharks still look to at least get back in the second round. Again, both teams eventually will see, or at least one of them will eventually see the Colorado Avalanche, a team that's been sitting idle, but also to one of the red-hot teams in the NHL. So, you wonder of how battle-tested, how bruised these two are going to come out of this series going Game 7, where you have a fresh and ready Colorado Avalanche team that has had worlds of momentum, did I wouldn't say the unbelievable or the unthinkable, but it was something very impressive that not a whole lot of people saw.
But also, too, for Colorado, you definitely don't want to go into the tank, and you definitely don't want to go in the T-Mobile Arena. Open
Not
up your first 2 games. No. Real quick here before we get to the top of the hour, and again, Pat Graham joins us live from Denver. He'll be in the can. Couple of games last night in the NBA. One wrapped up. Sweep for the Milwaukee Bucks. Anybody surprised? Anybody?
I think it's surprising for the city of Milwaukee and the Bucks franchise, where I think that's their first playoff series win since 2001.
Detroit. I know, but they punished Detroit all.
But I'm just saying, you're talking 18 years, and that was the first time since 2001 that the Bucks have won a playoff series. So it's been that long. So I think, is it surprise? I think a little bit for that city of Milwaukee and those Bucks fans, absolutely. But again, sweeping Detroit. Detroit had no business being in the playoffs. Clearly, Bucks, they were a phenomenal outfit throughout the entire NBA. Again, the had the most wins across the association. So what they did, sweeping Detroit, does not surprise me. But it's more of a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing for Milwaukee. Of hey, we actually finally did it. We're actually moving on.
Yeah, and the other game. Again, being a poor handicapper that I am, thinking that 4 versus 5 was going to be somewhat competitive. And then all of a sudden, Utah shows up last night. Or did Houston already think, let's just take
I think maybe
Center.
Houston probably put a little too much on cruise mode, thought, okay, we'll get this easy win. Who cares if it's in Utah? But also, too, you look at that fan base out there in Salt Lake City. They did power the Jazz last night. You saw it even in postgame where those fans were very appreciative of at least of that effort of that Jazz team to not roll over and die and get swept by the Houston Rockets. Does it go farther past Game 5? No, absolutely not. Houston should rebound, should pull their heads out of you-know-where and get that win.
I mean, when Chris Paul's your leading scorer, that kind of tells you that
Harden's been having issues of recent.
I understand that, but Harden just wasn't James Harden last night in that contest.
Like I said, maybe it was something for Houston where they just thought, well, we'll show up, we'll get that win, we'll get the sweep, and we move on. You wonder if it was something where they did get a little too above themselves in that contest and just said, we don't need to try. Who cares? But kudos to Utah, though, not rolling over and dying, giving that opportunity, giving that showcase in front of those fans, getting at least one win in this series. But do they find another one coming up? No. I really don't think so. Houston should, without a doubt, should still be moving on.
And again, they go to the Toyota Center, up 3-1. It's not looking great for Utah, but is there a little bit of momentum heading?
There's a little hope for Utah, absolutely.
Hope, that would be the word, yeah. Not momentum, just hope. I'll go with that.
Not a lot.
That's just kind of like with the Clippers. You got hope going back to Oracle, but you're going to get punished if the Warriors play like they should be playing.
Well, you got another day to think about that because they don't play until tomorrow.
I understand that. We do have Pat Graham join us here in a few minutes. Matter of fact, let's get into the top of the hour, and then we're going to talk with our good friend from Denver, as he is the AP sports writer down there, and he's coming up in a few minutes.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is time for hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Today, Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Load up on some delicious tacos only from Taco John's. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30, your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, right across from Menards. And again, their delicious chicken sandwiches, their waffle fries, their delicious shakes. You need to try them for breakfast. They got some great breakfast specialties for you over at Chick-fil-A. Now serving up 3 squares 6 days a week. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. AJ's got a great lineup of Kias for you, and again, including the new SUV Telluride. Oh yeah, it's a good-looking ride for 2019. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where they're going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Platte Valley Bank ×2, the original location over on Vanda High, and the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Again, banking with all of the amenities available to you. Again, customer service. You can do banking online. You need loans. They do that for you too. Again, just talk with our good friends today over at Platte Valley Bank. Medicap Pharmacy. With your doctor's prescription, let my good friend Gene Barber and his staff fill those said prescriptions, explain those medications to you. They've been doing this for a long time. So again, you can feel confident that it's going to be done right. They have a convenient drive-thru. You can do your business inside. Medicap Pharmacy, same location. Been around for a long, long time on Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Founded by Dick Lennox. Tradition, quarter century later, still carried on by his daughter, Heather. And again, a family-owned, family-operated business where they do the auto and truck repair center over on Dunn Avenue, and they do the auto glass and detail center. It's not clean until it's Lennox clean over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Mondello's Pizzeria directly across the street. Paisan cuisine at its best 7 days a week. See my good friend Joe and the gang over at Mondello's Pizzeria. And again, we get things underway with our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
Hockey action for tonight. We'll start with the American Hockey League with the Colorado Eagles on the road at Bakersfield as we'll see the Condors. That series is tied up 1 apiece, and that game will be underway at 8 o'clock tonight, where, again, the Colorado Eagles looking to at least go up 2-1 in the best-of-5 series against the Bakersfield Condors. NHL action for tonight, a pair of Game 7s, as you'll see the Boston Bruins at home at TD Garden take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. You can see that game on NBC Sports Network. And last but not least, San Jose Sharks in the Shark Tank in San Jose, California. They'll play host of the Vegas Golden Knights. My Vegas Golden Knights go, Knights go. And you can see that game as well on NBC Sports Network. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight.
Well, we have one final from Major League Baseball. It's the first of a day-night doubleheader from Beantown, where the Motor City Kitties of Detroit have defeated the Red Sox 7-4. Game 2 will commence in the 5 o'clock hour. Let's run down the schedule. It's the Marlins and the Indians getting underway here in about 5 minutes. Also in the 4 o'clock hour, the Braves at the Reds at Great American Ballpark. Diamondbacks at 5:05 will hook up with the Pirates at PNC. White Sox and the Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Giants and the Blue Jays in the 5 o'clock hour, early in the 5 o'clock hour at the Rogers Center in Toronto. Again, the Red Sox and the Tigers at about 5:10 from Fenway. Royals and the Rays in Tropicana Field at around 5:10. 5:10 as well, Phillies and the Mets at Citi Field. Later in the 5 o'clock hour, Brewers and the Cardinals at Busch. 6 o'clock hour features the Dodgers at the Cubs, Twins at the Astros, Nats and the Rockies at 6:40. That'll be at Coors Field. A marked difference temperature-wise from yesterday, about 23-degree difference right now, as it'll be Patrick Corbin getting the call for the Nats and Jeff Hoffman back on the hill for the Rockies this evening. Yankees and the Angels in the 8 o'clock hour. Also on the left coast, it will be the Rangers and the A's at the Oakland Coliseum. Padres at Petco, they will play host to the Seattle Mariners. And from the NBA tonight, here's what's going on the slate. Toronto can say adios to the Magic if they can win tonight in the Scotiabank Arena, as they will play host in Game 5, leading 3-1. 76ers also leading 3-1 in their series with the Brooklyn Nets. They're in the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, PA. Trailblazers in the Moda Center could say adios to OKC as the Trailblazers lead 3-1 in that series. Nuggets and the Spurs, they're knotted up at 2 games apiece. They're in the can, and they'll tap at 7:30 this evening. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking
2892. That's 316-2892. Or visit First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue for your tickets. Remember, at First Tier Bank, you'll find the best rate on a 27-month CD with a 3.10% annual percentage yield.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be sunny with highs around 61. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 39. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 66. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain showers with lows around 39.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. He should just be arriving right now into the parking lot of the Pepsi Center, or pretty doggone close. And our good friend Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer, as he gets ready for the Nuggets and the Spurs Game 5 in the can.
As I say, he's been at least a busybody throughout this, past month or so.
Well, the good news is he's staying pretty much pretty close there at the can. That's where he's doing a lot of his work these days. Pat, good to have you on board with us again.
Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, I've been sending my my mail to the center just to make it easier.
You know what? And I'm sure there's no other place you'd rather be right now because, again, we know the Pepsi Center is going to remain open for at least some more playoff action, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But let's get into Nuggets basketball. First and foremost, this series is knotted up at 2 apiece. And, again, this is a series where, San Antonio under Popovich, and again, he's got some veteran talent and younger players. But, really the Nuggets in their first battle with playoffs, that first game kind of threw them off, but all of a sudden now they realize they're in the playoffs and they're starting to kick it into another gear.
Well, yeah, you know what? Yes and no. I think that just watching them, and you've seen them too, I think they're playing about a B- brand from what they usually play. I think that they've yet to play their A game, and I'm just waiting to see when they do it, and it could be tonight. And if they do, I mean, they're more talented. They're more athletic. It's just a matter of when they can kick it in. You've seen it for quarters. You've seen it for flashes when they play their A game, but you haven't seen it for a sustained period.
You know who's actually played? Can he play a little bit better in the playoffs? But I think coming off the bench, I think Monty Morris has been all right for the Nuggets.
Monty Morris has been great. Yeah, he's been a nice lift there. And Jamal Murray and Spurs has looked good. I mean, he had that one quarter in the fourth quarter, game 2 where he took over. To me, the whole key is defense, and I love when Michael Malone in this little chess game with Greg Popovich. He inserted Torrey Craig in the starting lineup. Torrey Craig is kind of clamped on it. They've kind of switched up a little bit, and Gary Harris has taken some more turns with Derek White, who kind of crushed them in game 3, and then Gary Harris is on him in game 4 and shut down Derek White a little bit, and Torrey Craig is taking care of DeMar DeRozan a little bit. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Pop counters today.
Going back to Game 4 down in San Antonio, where for the Denver Nuggets, it was the first victory there in San Antonio since 2012. And again, coming into the playoffs, coming at least where a potential where San Antonio, if they were to win that game, again, being up 3-1, instead it's now tied 2-2. But, Pat, just kind of give us the understanding of how huge was that first victory in San Antonio in 7 years for the Denver Nuggets.
It was a big boulder off their back. I mean, it was just this albatross hanging around them. And it's just, 14 straight losses in San Antonio. It's just none of these guys were there. Most of these guys weren't there. A lot of people in this organization weren't there when they last won, especially in the playoffs. But it's just when that streak grows, it gets bigger and bigger, and you start to notice it. And it's just to have it off their back. Now they know that if listen, you don't want to go into a must-win scenario in San Antonio. Obviously, you can't afford to lose this game tonight. But at least you know that you can win in San Antonio if you have to. Not that you want to, but you have a little bit of there's no safety net. I mean, you want to go up 3-2 and, try to take care of business in San Antonio, but if you're in Game 6, and if you don't, then you have Game 7. But at least you know that you can win there.
Yeah, this has come down to a best 2 out of 3 series, but
exactly.
you have to breathe a little bit easier, Pat, that at least 2 of them are going to be in the can.
Well, yeah, and you're 34-7 at home. I mean, it's exactly what you want. This is what you have home court advantage for. Is situations like this, and you can't. I mean, I will give them first playoff game in a long time jitters. I'll give them that, but you can't afford any more slip ups. And then I don't expect them to slip up tonight. I'd be very shocked if they came out flat. I'd be very shocked if they lost tonight. I think their heads are on straight. They got rid of the jitters. They got punched in the mouth, and now they're up off the canvas and they're ready to go.
Jokic, again, wherever he goes, he draws a crowd, but he's trying to do other things. But again, he's just shy of a triple-double for the first 4 games. He's still the main man for the Denver Nuggets.
He is, and yet everybody's like, well, it's a quiet triple-double. I'm like, yeah, is there such a thing as a quiet triple-double? Come on, it's a triple-double. But I just think that the one thing I'd like to see Nikola do tonight is just come out and just be aggressive. Just be aggressive from the start. Almost be selfish to an extent, and just get this team going because they feed off his energy. When he's aggressive and when he's selfish for him is maybe taking 2 shots instead of 7. But if he just takes that extra shot, this team feeds off that. They feed off his energy.
Looking at the series again as it's tied up 2-2, Game 5 coming up tonight there at the Pepsi Center between the Nuggets and the Spurs. But in your opinion, Pat, again, 2 out of 3 as he mentioned again, it's still up in the air, but how Denver's been kind of recently playing, getting that monkey off their back, so to speak, playing down there in San Antonio. Does San Antonio still have a shot at winning this series, or has Denver kind of figured out the pieces now to close out this opening round series?
No, definitely. San Antonio's still very much alive in this series. Anytime you have DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge and Derek White, who's showing that he can score, you're always in this. You're always in this series. But the thing is Denver's counter moved to Pop's moves, and now it's on San Antonio. What are they going to do to make the next move to steal a win? It boils down to me. It boils down to the Nuggets. It's all dependent on them. I mean, they have yet to play their very, very best basketball. You've not seen it yet. You haven't seen it in a while. You haven't seen it in probably 10 games. I'm just waiting to see that. I mean, the basketball that was like January, February basketball when they were really good. I'm ready to see that. I think that they're on the cusp of that. And I think tonight could be the night. And if they do that, you could see a 12, 13, 14-point win.
The one cat I want to see coming out of the cocoon is Millsap. I would have figured he would have raised his game just a little bit more here in the playoffs. I mean, he's Paul Millsap, but he's not taking that extra step forward right now to be Paul Millsap.
Yeah, no, he's. I think Paul is being Paul. I think Paul is. Yeah, I kind of like his game right now. I think that this is Jokic's team, and he's the whole driving force. And to a lesser extent, it's Jamal Murray, because when Jamal Murray's hot, this whole team's going, and when he's cold, it's what are they doing? There's so many moving parts in this team, and it's not just one guy. I mean, Malik Beasley, I'd like to see him. He's been really good. I think that Will Barton needs to find his game. I just think that it's Gary Harris. He's been solid the whole series.
Let's talk about real quick here before we go into the Avalanche. We're going to go one last thing here. The coaching that you've seen thus far from Mike Malone. I mean, we're 2-2 in the series right now. I think Malone has made the right moves during this series.
Oh yeah, he has. I mean, listen, you can say all you want. I think when you have a veteran coach like Greg Popovich, maybe it's worth 5 points a game, maybe 6. Which if the spread's 5.5, there's a spread right there. But I think Michael Malone has made some really good moves. I think that putting Torrey Craig in the starting lineup was huge. I think that putting Gary Harris on Derek White was huge. I think that these are little nuanced moves that maybe it's like, what does it really matter? Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, you slowed down Derek White a little bit, and that's the key to this. I mean, if you can't, Derek White can't go off. If Derek White goes off, that's a third score, and it's just going to be it's very hard for the Nuggets to win.
At least for Coach Mike Malone, he certainly needs to make good moves, at least coming up here tonight. Again, Game 5. We're not going to say it's do or die for the Nuggets, but they certainly need it down at the Pepsi Center. But moving over to the Colorado Avalanche, talking about someone who was making the right moves, and that was head coach Jared Bednar, who made all the right moves, it seemed like, in that series against Calgary, winning that thing 4-1. But my first question for you, Pat, regarding the Colorado Avalanche is, how shocked or surprised are you that they actually upended the Western Conference leading Calgary Flames?
I would say very mildly. I think that it's funny because everybody, like, in hockey, I think that 1 through 8 are just kind of, I think they're all the same teams. I think the talent discrepancy is not that big. I think the difference between the 1 seed and the 8 seed in hockey is just consistency. Calgary, they were consistent all year, whereas the Avalanches, as you know, they went through some peaks, they went through some deep valleys, and that's why they ended up an 8 seed. I think that talent-wise, Colorado was just as good. And then when they got Cale Makar, it added another level of talent. Talent-wise, they were not overmatched. And the only one that kind of surprised me was Columbus, the way they handled Tampa Bay. That one surprised me.
Now, with the rest that Colorado's getting, and of course San Jose and Vegas still have one more to go here, so, I mean, they've taken this series to the limit. Is the rest good, or with the Avalanche, should they still be out there playing right now? Because, I mean, they had a lot of momentum heading into the playoffs.
Well, it's funny because rest is what you make of it. It's funny because if they come out and they're really flat in game one, everybody's going to be like, oh, the rest was bad. If they come out and they play great in game one, everybody's like, oh, the rest was good. So it doesn't even matter. Me personally, hey, you always feel good after a couple of days off. You're always ready to go. You always have that extra spark in your step. I think rest is good, but it depends on how they play in game one, what people are going to read into it.
For that opening round series against Calgary, at least for the Colorado Avalanche, in your opinion, Pat, who was the shining star? Who was the MVP of that series for the Colorado Avalanche?
Well, to me, Mikko Rantanen. I think the reason why everybody's going to say Nathan McKinnon or maybe Philip Grubauer, but to me, Rantanen was because you didn't know what you're going to get. He was coming in there. He'd missed 8 games in the last 8 games of the regular season with that upper body injury. You didn't know how he was going to play. He was rusty in game 1, shook that off, and had scored 5 goals or something like that. And he was just including that overtime game winner. He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal all series. And you know what the thing is when Mikko's going like that, it takes so much more pressure off Nathan McKinnon, and McKinnon is you see why he's a top 5 talent.
You know, the next opponent, whether it's the Sharks or Vegas, obviously two more good teams. And again, they're coming through a bloodbath in this particular series where, right now, if we head into Game 7, San Jose is on that 2-game win streak. But let me ask you this. Colorado has to go on the road. They either go to the Tank or they go to the T-Mobile Arena. Your opinion, Pat, who would you rather have the Avs face?
Oh, my goodness. 100%, 1,000% you'd rather face Vegas. Because you're 2-1 against Vegas. You skate with Vegas. Vegas plays your style of game. It's going to be high-end action. It's going to be up and down. It's going to be 4-3 games. Whereas you're 0-3 against San Jose this year. You don't match up well. You don't play well in San Jose. I don't think you want any part of the Sharks. I think you want Vegas.
I think I do as well, too, at least just being as a Vegas fan. I wouldn't mind seeing a few games out of the Pepsi Center. But, again, looking at what Colorado was able to pull off there in the first round, again, upsetting at least the number 1 seed Calgary Flames, is it safe or is it a potential reality for the Colorado Avalanche? Could this team make it to the Stanley Cup final? Out of this Western Conference where, we're waiting to see what comes out of the 2 tonight between Vegas and San Jose, and the matchup between Dallas and St. Louis, but could it be a reality that the Avs could make it to the Stanley Cup final?
Heck yeah, why not? I mean, it's a topsy-turvy, Stanley Cup playoff so far, but the top seeds are all dropping. It's anybody's game, and then what you need is a star, Nathan McKinnon. You need great goaltending, which Philip Grubauer is at. And the thing with the Avs is it's very underrated is their defense. I mean, they have 6 defensemen who are just playing lights out. You don't really notice them because they don't have a Norris Trophy candidate, but that defensive core has been fantastic.
All right, real quick here. I know we got to let you go. You got to get to work here real quick on the east side. Real quick, Boston, Toronto. Who wins that one? It's 3-3.
Oh boy, you know what? I'm going Boston.
How about what? Do you think Washington will return home serve as they take on Carolina?
Washington went 4-0.
All right. Hey, Pat, I know you got to get to work. Get ready for a fun game tonight. I know we're going to be watching it as well. Nuggets and the Spurs, Game 5. Thanks a lot for joining us here on 1480 KRAE.
Hey, let's talk Rocks again soon, and thanks for having me on.
All right. Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer, joining us here on Wyoming SportsTalk today. He's got to get all situated as he gets ready for tonight's game. It's going to be a fun one there in the can. We will take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words of 1480 KRAE.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly. And then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medigap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medigap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Van High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Community banking for you.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, with Pat being down there at the Pepsi Center, he could probably take a look across over his shoulder and see what's going on over at Coors Field, because the Rocks and the Nats will do it again tonight. A guy that
those venues are not that close.
No, I know that, but the deal with the Rockies is that, and I'll get to this here in a minute. Jeff Hoffman is going to get the call. It's been a while since Hoffman has thrown for the Rockies. He's 26 years old. He's 6'5", 225. But listen to this. Why the Rockies lost one of their pitchers. You ready for this one?
Sure.
They lost Kyle Freeland to the 10-day IL. Again, it's not
DL.
Yeah. It's the IL, the injured list, retroactive to April 19th, because he has a blister on his finger.
So that happens all the time.
Wimpy. I mean,
that is nothing new in Major League Baseball. If that shocks you, then I don't know where you've been through for baseball for the past probably decade or so.
But I mean, come on, a blister, and you go to the 10-day disabled list. Well, you know what? Maybe
again, where you're talking,
strengthen your fingers. I don't know.
Again, does it matter? Hey, hence the reason why. You have this roster, this lineup, you have that rotation, you move pieces in and out. Hey, that's why you have that luxury as a pro ball club. Who cares at this point? Let him have his blister. Let him be, heal up. So, again, I think it's more so of, is it a knock against Freeland? Probably not. Was it probably more of a, the staff's decision? Not even like Bud Black, but more so of, hey, I got this thing. I can't grip the ball. Again, obviously, it's like, well, if you can't grip the ball, or if it's going to hurt, and you can't use some of your clutch pitches as a starting pitcher, then why have you out there?
I agree, but today's baseball players, wimpy. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
You go back in time. Go back in time. You don't see pitchers going on the DL.
We're not going back in time. You got to look at the future, and this is where baseball's at. All right, it's happened before.
Anyway, they reinstated left-handed pitcher Tyler Anderson, who pitched last night. Not an impressive performance, but the Rockies did give him support. Also on the DL or on the IL, he is now rehabbing Second baseman Daniel Murphy is now with the Albuquerque Isotopes, so he is rehabbing. Hopefully he will be called up to the big squad here pretty soon. Last night for the Rocks in their win against the Nats, and this is kind of a milestone, and you take it for what it's worth. The milestone was a home run by Nolan Arenado, his 1,000th career hit. Again, you're talking about a guy only in his 6th season.
Which is not bad. Again, we're 6th season, third of the way to what people kind of consider of Hall of Fame worthy. I think at this point, Nolan Arenado probably a for sure Hall of Famer, even with the small numbers, barring anything major that happens to his career. But I think at this point, I think he will be a Hall of Famer. But again, a third of the way to what kind of guarantees you that spot in there, not bad. Again, a very quick pace. Obviously, again, he is that superstar player. Rockies realize that. Obviously, signing him for the money that he did sign for. But good on him. Again, 1,000 did it in a big way. Again, the home run last night in front of a crowd of the few thousands that were there that braved the cold. But good on him. I mean, what else more can you say? He hit a milestone, and he'll probably hit a lot more.
Well, and again, if he can continue at that pace, so what is he, about 26 right now? You look at by 30, hopefully, he's already in the 2,000 hit club. Can Nolan Arenado be a 3,000 hit guy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it.
And can he maintain that defensive prowess at third base? Absolutely. I think he can. Again, everybody looks back and just way before your time, the Brooks Robinson third baseman, Greg Nettles third baseman back in the day. Those guys were great defensive players. Brooks was not a great offensive guy. Nettles was an okay offensive guy. We're talking about Nolan Arenado, who is both great defensively and a great offensive player. I brought up the stat sheet on
I'm
the
just
Rockets.
saying, is there any surprise there going on that rant? I mean, is there any news that we don't know about?
No, but I'm just saying.
Guy who's got umpteenth Silver Slugger, umpteenth Golden Gloves. I mean, the guy he's gonna have a stacked house of trophies.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think the guy's even reached his peak yet. That's how good.
Then that's
he
good
can
for
be.
Colorado fans at this point, and you might be right, but. Again, everything we've known about Nolan Arenado, it's not changed. He's been that consistent player. He is that good. He is a potential superstar. The only downfall for Nolan Arenado, why he's not kind of showcased on the national side, is he's on a team that's not known for at least winning in the postseason, winning championships. Sorry, that's where you had like the Buster Posey of the world, or the Mad Bums, where they're winning 3 World Series. You get shown on that national stage, you get that notoriety. I think that's the only thing for Nolan Arenado, where is Nolan Arenado a household name across the nation?
Not yet.
Probably not.
Not yet.
Probably not. But I think the only downfall is just playing for the Colorado Rockies, playing in that market where it's not going to get showcased like a San Francisco, an LA, a Chicago, a New York, or even down the road with Washington, D.C. and Bryce Harper. It's not there yet, where, again, Denver's in that interesting, middle America here in the Rocky Mountain region. Coastlines may not care. Everywhere else may not care. And that's the only downfall, where Nolan Arenado is not that superstar, or at least level guy yet.
Now, I made the comment yesterday, and again, I've got it here. As of 22 games played by the Rocks.
23.
Well, 23 games, excuse me. Blackman missed 1 game. But I'm looking at the stat sheet right now. The Blackman, Story, Arenado all hitting .281. But look, Charlie's been up 96 times, 19 Ks. Story, 89 times, 26 Ks. Arenado, believe it or not, who has 89 at-bats, has only whiffed 8 times. Then it gets ugly. Desmond, 23. He's struck out a third of his times he's been up. 75 at-bats, he struck out 23 times. Hampson, who's hitting a .183.
Yeah, but you're talking about strikeouts, and I don't know where you're getting your stats at, but I it'd be interesting to see more of they being aggressive swinging at. Are these missed strikes, swinging strikes, or are we just standing up there and watching these?
Some of these are backward Ks for the Rocks.
Well, and then that tells me that, again, as we talked about it yesterday, and you've kind of complained about it for about a week now or so, maybe it's something for the Colorado Rockies where you anticipate this team should be at least runs scored, or through 23 games you have 85. That puts you at third best right now in the NL West behind Arizona and behind the LA Dodgers. Not bad, but I figured they'd be crossed at least already that 100 mark at this point. Is it something that the Rockies do seriously need to take a look at and go, maybe our hitting coach, it's not working. Maybe it's time, we got you. You're brand new. You're fresh to the team, but it's not working, and we got to move on. Is that a potential, a possibility that the Rockies now need to look at, especially where you talk about these analytics? You look at the stats of what this offense is doing so far. Again, this team's still 3 games below 500 at this point. Doesn't really mean a whole lot. Again, 23 games out of 162, but is it something that the Rockies need to address this now before it hurts them later on?
Absolutely. I agree.
Oh, thanks for your input.
Well, you
get
mad at me because I bring up the stats here where I'm just kind of like shocked.
No, I'm just saying, again, you bring up the stats, and they are something that is noteworthy, but is it something that the Rockies organization needs to look at? Is it Bud Black's?
Absolutely.
Bud Black's decision to go,
well, you know what?
Bye-bye.
What you need.
Because right now, if you're looking at runs scored, and so far, again, 23 games, you're negative 16 on run differential, that's not good. Again, where that pitching staff is not stellar, it is not scary, it is not something that's going to keep you in ball games. Maybe yes and no, but it's nothing that I'm scared of the Rockies starting pitching that's going to hold teams down.
The slow start for the Rocks, that massive losing streak they had. Yeah, they're coming out of it right now, but they're still whiffing a lot, which means left on base. You still haven't played a lot of the good teams either.
No.
So, again, and especially when you play your compadres in the West, where you wrote, let's look at it. You were awful against the Dodgers.
Awful against the Giants.
Against the Giants, who are the weakest hitting team in Major League Baseball.
They're only a game behind Colorado.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't want to say the word aggressive. It's just that they are very passive at the plate. Arenado's the one that's kind of taking the bull by the horns. I'll tell you another kid that is doing really well, and he made the smart move getting out of Miami, Christian Yelich.
Yeah.
He is putting up.
Yeah, where his career would have died, and I think he realized that. Same with Giancarlo Stanton.
Everybody that left there.
Well, yeah, again, where you have the opportunity to play, for Giancarlo Stanton, he had the opportunity for, San Francisco was tossed out, the Nationals were tossed out. Again, a lot of good teams that were looking to be competitive, and then eventually lands with the New York Yankees. Well, the Yankees, they're playoff bound. Are they World Series bound? We'll see. It
remains to be seen.
We'll see what happens this season, but, they're going to be competitive a lot more than Miami at this point, where Miami, the worst team, if not in the NL, actually, as I look, they're the worst team in Major League Baseball with 6-16 overall. That was a smart move. Same with Christian Yelich, again, where he realized Miami's rebuilding. Miami, even that front office, again, addressed saying, hey, it's a rebuild. It is a slow rebuild to get back to the Marlins of where they were in the early 2000s. It's going to take some time. And for those two superstars, obviously they realize, I need to get out. I don't want to carry this team. It's not going to do me good for my career. Instead, I'll join franchises where I can make a difference and we can do something special. And for Christian Yelich, he's done that with the Milwaukee Brewers. I still think of the pace he's on this season, and I predicted at the beginning of this year, and I'm still going to go with it. Christian Yelich is going to probably be your MVP. It has to be.
Right.
And again, what he's doing right now is very special.
As of today, he's hitting .337. He's got 13 home runs, 31 RBIs.
I think he's averaging like a home run, or at least he's averaging like a home run every game against the St. Louis Cardinals. So for the Brewers, hopefully they see the Cards more, which they will throughout the season. But, I mean, for Christian Yelich, he has been a nice little shot in the arm for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, let me ask you this question. Right now, and again, I would throw 3 names out there, but one's in the American League. Who's the better player? Is it Bellinger from the Dodgers? Is Chris Davis in the conversation of the Athletics? Or is it Yelich? And again, obviously I'm going by home runs right now, Nick, but who's the
Yelich?
He's the
There's no question. Chris Davis, I think he's had a strong start. A's have recognized that. They recognize what he's done to that franchise for the Oakland A's.
They rewarded him.
Again, locking him down without a contract. But something tells me that Chris Davis eventually is going to cool off. I don't see this continue on. If it does, hey, kudos to him.
Now, Bellinger,
he could be that player. Bellinger absolutely could.
He's hitting .424 right now. Oh, by the way, not that he's going to be the next 400 hitter.
Yeah, that's not going to carry on. Dodgers eventually will run into some swoon, but
he's got 11 home runs, 28 RBIs through his 23 games that he's played, 24 for the Dodgers.
I mean, it's a toss-up, I think, minus Chris Davis, but Bellinger absolutely puts his case in. But I still go with what Yelich is. Again, go back to what he was with Miami last year with the Brewers and carrying on to this season. All around as a player, he's consistent. He is the MVP of the Brewers. Without them, I don't think the Brewers were competitive last year. I don't think they have a shot this year if they didn't have him. I think he does mean that much to the Brewers. For the Dodgers, Bellinger. Does he have that much effect for the Dodgers? Possibly.
I don't think it's a strong bat from the left side. Absolutely.
I don't think it's that noticeable compared to Milwaukee to LA, where LA does have other superstars around him that can help this team in whatever ways.
Yeah, but the other superstars around him are kind of struggling right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin Turner, who's been the mainstay.
He's not used to playing in at least April.
He's now second fiddle right now.
I'm just saying he wasn't used to playing in April like last year.
I think Bellinger with the hitting instructor that he had in the offseason, I think basically he took the Dodgers and put him on his shoulders right now. Again, doesn't have to worry about Puig in right field. Outfield is his. And
I think the Dodgers in general don't have to worry about Puig anymore. They should be thankful they got rid of that cancer at this point. And again, he's shown that he is not worth anything, or at least he's not worth a whole lot to Cincinnati. Where again,
the Reds are bad. I mean, they're young, they're bad, and they're going.
But I think it was a smart move. I've always said it was a smart move for Dodgers to eventually get rid of Yasiel Puig. Puig was just a hothead. He was not. Again, the guy, it felt like he was more about himself than he was the team. And I think the Dodgers made a great move this offseason, as much as I hate saying that, but they made a great move by getting rid of him and saying, hey, Cincinnati, try and rebuild around him. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take a look here at the Reds stats, and they're not even worth even noting right now.
They're pretty pathetic.
I guess as we're through 23, 24 games of the season thus far, before we go to the break.
What? 13, 14, 15% of the season in.
Well, yeah, if you figured 162-game season. In the American League, Tampa continues to hang on. Now, again, they got a bunch of young arms, but I'm not blown away by their hitting by any stretch of the imagination. But, yeah, their pitching is good. But
I mean, they have runs scored. They're tied with the
Yankees most. And the Red Sox have just come out of the blocks. Not great. And really, for as much money as the Yankees have paid, and I will say this, DJ LeMahieu is playing really exceptional baseball right now for the Yankees, and he's hitting really well. They got him in the leadoff.
Well, the interesting thing, especially you look at majority of teams kind of across the league, with exception of a few teams, but especially there in the AL East, a lot of teams are struggling at home, which is a surprising thing. You look at, Baltimore is going to be terrible, but they're 1-10 at home. Boston 3-4 out of 7 games at home. They've struggled. Toronto 4-6 there at the Rogers Center. 8-7 for the Yankees. They're at Yankee Stadium, so they've seen a lot of games there at home, but they can't get it done. And 8-6 for Tampa Bay there at the Trop. Again, not impressive at home. Right now, Tampa Bay, they're good out of the gates. Will this carry on throughout the season? You talk about those young arms. I think eventually those young arms gas themselves out, and Tampa Bay becomes that team where
they go in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, they'll be a middle-of-the-pack team. I think Yankees slowly are eventually going to figure things out. Boston, I don't know what to anticipate. Boston right now, 9-14, again, not out of it. No team is out of it at this point.
Well, they just put their one pitcher, Uvalde, on the 8 injured list, so, you lost an arm there. But I
think Boston will climb back into it. I think New York will still be your AL East champion. Boston still has a shot at being a wild card. But Tampa Bay, I think eventually, is it going to happen soon? Does it happen in May? Does it happen in June? It'll happen at a point in time, but Tampa Bay is going to come back to reality.
Well, also, too, and I don't want to use the word reality, But if they are fighting here by the time the All-Star break comes around, they might be in the trade market. Buying. They might be buyers if they are hanging around.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely should be.
So
even though Tampa Bay is not really known as a team that spends big money on big, at least players to at least help them, they got to, if they want to compete with New York, who is sitting on their tails right now. And, again, they might be looking behind New York later down the season.
You know, matter of fact, a friend of mine I was playing against over the weekend, him and his lady, they made a tour. You know, the bucket list is to catch all the Major League Baseball parks. So they were in Miami. They went to watch the Marlins and said, absolutely beautiful ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
Then they went to the Trop, and my friend's girlfriend basically said, picture yourself being at a circus with a big canvas tent. It was like there was no life in that place. It's absolutely ugly. And I always thought the Coliseum, because of its aging and the way they take care of it. And,
the Coliseum has its own
You won't
fanfare.
remember it, but I'm just saying it was nice at one time. But the Trop, every time you see highlights from there, it looks ugly.
It's an interesting venue. I'd like to go see it. Absolutely. And, again, the Tampa Bay has realized that. The Rays have recognized that. That's why they're moving to a new location.
When? When are they moving?
I think it was – they're looking at 2022 or something. Again, far out from now, but they have realized that. They have addressed that and said, yes, we're going to build a new ballpark. It was going to be the same kind of dome structure as what we're seeing right now with Tropicana, but they're going to be in a new ballpark. They have addressed it. And kind of same with the Oakland A's, where I do believe in a vote yesterday, at least from the state, at least state legislator there, at least in California, they agreed that, or at least they moved forward that the A's can now build at least by the harbor there in downtown Oakland and get out of the Coliseum. So that has been addressed too, where the A's can finally say, okay, we don't have to deal with this.
The A's want to do similar to what the Giants did, even though the Giants are downtown, but again, they're near the peninsula.
A's will be downtown too. Well, downtown-ish. Again, they're going to be Jack London Square by
right.
there.
And that's, also the peninsula area.
Whatever, but either way, though, they're getting new ballpark, and again, Tampa Bay has realized
they moved down
that.
to the Jack London Square area, man, I'll tell you what, that is absolutely one of the nicest areas in Oakland. Going back to what you were talking about, and again, I know we need to get to the break, but real quick here on the American League side, look at Texas. You're talking about home field advantage. It's not prevalent in the American League, except at Houston, where the Stros are 6-1 at Minute Maid, and the Rangers are 10-4 at Arlington. I mean, everybody else is fair or mediocre or even awful. I mean, the Mariners
they're good on the road.
Yeah, for their 16-9 mark, they're 5-7 in Seattle. I mean,
well, Texas again, as they sit right now in third place, again 2 games ahead of the Oakland A's. Will they retain that? No, Texas is going to be a team that eventually gets back to reality, falls back, and realizes, hey, get back behind the rest of us here in the AL West. But, Houston, again, they're always good at home. Will they have a phenomenal home record? It's showing that they could. Again, I don't disrespect the Houston Nationals team. I still think it's a team that could be in the playoffs, if not win the AL West.
You got a good offense. You got 3 stellar starters, including.
Like I said, the AL West is a division that is going to be absolutely worth to watch throughout the entire season.
I wouldn't be surprised that somebody like Mad Bum gets shipped off to Houston.
We'll see. Again, we're far away from that.
Anyway, in the National League, looking at some of the home boys, Philly 8-4 at home. The Dodgers are 9-4 at home, and the Cardinals 8-3 at Busch. Everybody else,
nothing really too spectacular.
Yeah, nothing exciting about it at all. All right, we do need to take a break. We will come back, get ready to wrap things up here on Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, the Coin Shop is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Why do we work all hours of the night? Head towards challenges instead of turning away. And work together to solve the toughest problems so you can enjoy the little things and all the big moments life has to offer. Tri-State and High West Energy. Brighter, stronger, better together.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Last play of the game, boys. Now they're expecting us to either run it or pass it. So instead, we're gonna do both. Like the new quesadilla taco at Taco John's. It's both a taco and a cheesy quesadilla. Taco and quesadilla. It's the perfect call.
Try Taco John's cheesy new quesadilla tacos stuffed with sirloin steak, chipotle chicken, pork carnitas, or classic beef.
Let's go quesadilla taco our way to victory.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be sunny with highs around 61. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 39. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 66. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with the chance of rain showers with lows around 39.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Oh, a couple more items here before we wrap it up today. We were trying to figure out, like, what is that noise we're hearing? And we were looking.
I doubt you could hear it on air.
No, but I could hear it through the head. I could feel a rattle in here. Guy out there mowing the lawn. He's riding the lawnmower is loud.
Well, guess what? It means it's springtime, man.
Yeah, that means hopefully our lawn will start turning green. All right, so a couple basketball notes here as we get ready to wrap things up. First off, Jason Kidd. All right. He is being interviewed for the Los Angeles Lakers head coaching vacancy.
Good, whatever. Who cares?
No.
Take it, Jason Kidd. Deal with that just headache. Go right ahead.
I mean,
Jason Kidd did nothing as a head coach.
Exactly, with Brooklyn.
Yeah, he was pathetic. So Lakers, if you want to go ahead and hire him, I think it's a great pairing. Go right ahead. So both can fail.
See, here's the deal. Kidd has had previous ties to Lakers star LeBron James, having been an Olympic teammate.
Whoop-de-doo.
In 2008, when Team USA won the gold in Beijing, Kidd's Dallas Mavericks also defeated James and the Heat in the 2011 NBA Finals. So, I mean, that's your correlation there. But here's the other deal. Right now, the list is not great who's vying to be this head coach. Philadelphia 76ers assistant coach Monty Williams, former Cleveland Cavaliers head coach Tyronn Lue,
yeah.
And you know who LeBron's going to want.
He'd want Ty.
Oh, yeah.
Again, the guy who he can just overstep, and Ty is just that puppet, at least that puppet where, LeBron's going to be that puppet master and just
he's going to go,
hey,
do
what
LeBron?
I want.
Yeah. And then also assistant coach Juwan Howard of the Miami Heat, also scheduled to interview for the job. You know what?
Yeah, not a stellar class so far of potential hirees for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Jason Kidd has not proven himself as a coach by any stretch of the imagination.
But the Lakers, for whatever reason, are trying to find those entities that can be that diamond in the rough. Apparently, they tried it with Luke Walton. I still think Luke Walton could be that guy. If he still has a job with Sacramento, we'll see once we'll get into that news.
There's a news story breaking out on Luke Walton.
But again, it seems like the Lakers are trying to go in that direction of, okay, we'll give you a shot. We'll give you an opportunity. We'll be that launching pad, so to speak, of, okay, let's see what you can do with our team. Jason Kidd, it's not going to happen. That's adding more fuel to the fire that's already going on, that garbage can on fire happening down there at the Staples Center, at least with the Los Angeles Lakers. Again, Ty Lue, probably your best fit right now, again, to pair up with LeBron, where again, Ty can just be that lapdog for LeBron and just go, okay, I'll do what you want, LeBron.
Exactly. A lawsuit alleges that new Sacramento Kings coach Luke Walton sexually assaulted a woman sometime before he was named coach of the L.A. Lakers back in April of 2016. The civil lawsuit, first reported by TMZ. Boy, they get around all over the place.
I respect TMZ. They're on top of things.
Oh no, like I said, they know everything. And it was
they got a lot of employees to know.
It was confirmed by ESPN. It alleges that Kelly Tennant, a former host on Spectrum Sports Net LA, the Lakers' regional sports network, received an unwanted physical advance by Walton at a Santa Monica, California hotel room. The suit alleges that Tennant, who had a working relationship with Walton stemming from his time as a guest analyst on Spectrum, met with him at the Casa del Mar Hotel to drop off a copy of her book, for which he provided the foreword, when he was in town on a road trip as an assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors. Now, according to the legal documents obtained by ESPN, Walton allegedly invited Tennant to his room so they wouldn't be seen together by any Warriors players. He then allegedly pinned Tennant to the hotel bed and forcibly kissed and groped her. The suit also alleges that in May 2017, Walton forced an aggressive hug and made a lewd remark about Tennant's outfit at a charity event the two attended.
Obviously innocent until proven guilty with all these stuff, but especially in the sports world where we've seen it more so of it is someone trying to end a career of someone else's, trying to get monies out of someone else who is, again, making their way up kind of the ranks, whether it's player, coaches. Again, in a hotel room, hard to prove that. Again, with no security cams, obviously outside in the hallway, you can go, okay, well, she was here, but what happened, kind of hard to prove that. But right now, again, nothing against her, but of what we've seen recently, going back to the 49ers situation where, again, the player had to deal with all this stuff. Again, eventually it was found out that she was just blatantly lying, which is kind of been the common theme with a lot of these things, which is kind of a negativity when it does actually in reality happen and gets overshadowed by that. But it's hard to believe that this even happened. Well, that I can't give her the benefit of the doubt because I feel like she's lying like the rest of them.
Well, Walton's attorney, Mark Botte, called the allegations baseless. The accuser is an opportunist, not a victim, and her claim is not credible, as he said in a statement. Yeah. We intend to prove this in a courtroom.
Yeah.
Again,
like I said, I don't want to say that she's wrong or incorrect or lying, but again, I go off of the past track record, and again, in media, or at least in the pro spectrum, world. In the pro sports world, more than not, it has been false allegations. It's been a money move. It has been trying to end careers of someone that you, for whatever reason, just wanted to end that career. Again, we've seen it so many times. So it's hard to believe.
And you're not going to get an argument out of me, but I'm also going to speak out on the other side as well, too, that, these people don't come forward with baseless claims. Obviously, something happened. And, again, in this day and age,
like you said,
in this day and age,
you go back to the 49ers situation where that was a no base claim where she just kind of pulled that out of nowhere.
But and just again, in today's world, you don't take anything for granted.
No, yeah, again, both parties are innocent until proven guilty. Again, you let justice happen and figure out what was reality.
Whose lawyer is better? That's basically what happens.
Well, hopefully that you would have some detectives or at least investigative work. Like I said, you could go back to that hotel, probably pull up security footage. I would not doubt they've had that stored, and they have to do that probably for legal purposes. There's probably ways to get this and figure it out.
Well, I don't think there are cameras in the room.
Here's what happened. Again, if she lies, nothing's going to happen. I wouldn't doubt, hey, here's a fine or maybe some jail time for her if she lies. I could only hope for that. Now, if it happened to be true that Luke did this in a previous instance, I would hope the Kings realize that. And does he deserve to be the head coach heading into the season, knowing something like this has happened in his past? I say no.
No.
I say no. I don't think he should be a head coach if this comes to be true.
Don't get fired, step down.
I think that should be the legitimate thing. So, again, we'll see what happens with this. So, again, if one party is, in the wrong, or at least if she's lying, hopefully there's fine and jail time for her because, again, this is big. This is going against a man's life where this could carry on in his future of, what was alleged to be false. If it was against Luke Walton, hopefully he is no longer the head coach of the Kings and kind of just goes away.
And we'll keep an eye on the story as it develops.
It'll continue.
All right, we do want to wrap things up here again. Thank you again to Adam Galicia, Jordan Harris from Shine Extreme joining us here earlier in our 3 o'clock hour, and most recently in the 4 o'clock hour early part we had Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer.